Hey, Jay.
Hi, guys.
Can you just maybe start with the objective here at rookie camp? Is it kind of just to get the guys used to what it's like to be in an NHL dressing room and around an NHL club? Or is there any evaluation going on here? Or I guess what's the balance between evaluation and kind of teaching?
Well, it's the first part of the hockey season is rookie camps that are happening in 31 other cities across the league as well. So it is an evaluation camp. It's an opportunity for the youngest players in our organization to make an impact, to grow their game each day, to hopefully earn a spot in main training camp. So it's an important time and an important step for these younger players to set the table for their month of September, sure, but also to set the table for their year as a whole.
Now, just with the circumstances last year with the pandemic, are there some players that played in Europe that you guys haven't seen in over a year, and you're going to have to really kind of assess where they were last time you saw them and where they are now type thing?
Yeah. Just given the nature of where the world was at and how some of our assets played in different leagues all over the world, some in Europe, as you mentioned, some in the American Hockey League, and obviously the big team here in Edmonton. It's nice to have everybody together, and it's nice to be able to get a first-hand look rather than watching something on video. And we spent a lot of time over the last few months preparing for this camp and getting a handle on the players that were coming in, what their strengths were. And it's going to be nice to see the whites of their eyes and really roll our sleeves up and get to work with these young players.
Thanks, sir.
What do you want to see from Samorukov? He spent 1 year with you, then went back to play in Europe. Do you anticipate a much more, I guess, experienced player from playing both places?
Yep. First, I want to see him. I haven't seen him yet. I haven't bumped into him just yet, and so I'm looking forward to seeing Dimitri and catching up on a personal level first. We've been in touch over the phone and we've talked, and he's had a real good relationship with our defense coach in Bakersfield and Dave Manson, and they've talked a lot over during the pandemic and just checking in and making sure that he was feeling good. Obviously, he's returning from injury, so the most important thing, Matty, would be that he's feeling 100% and able to be a full participant. And I'm just looking forward to see where he's at. And I think this rookie camp offers him a good opportunity to get up and running so that he's feeling confident heading into main camp here next week.
Hey, Jay.
Hey.
I'm just curious, there's a lot of guys on this list that that you've coached, that you've had for an extended period of time, and there's a lot of guys that you don't know very well. So how do you kind of approach that as you head into this week? Are you kind of watching the guys you don't know more, or vice versa?
Well, as I said earlier, I think you want to get to know some of these players on a personal level off the ice, and that's what today's about, and bumping into guys, learning their first name, kind of what their history is, allowing them to be a little bit comfortable in the presence of the coaching staff. So I think that's important. I think when we're on the ice, you're evaluating everybody, but you're also evaluating how the practice is going. So there's a lot of stuff happening during practices. A lot of times we'll go back and rewatch the practices and discuss individual players. I think everybody that's in camp has an opportunity to make an impression, whether they're a high draft pick, whether they're a free agent invite, whether they played in Bakersfield last year. What a great opportunity for all these young men to come in and really leave an impression not only on our coaching staff, but on the big club's coaching staff and management as well.
Obviously, there's some unfortunate news this morning with Dylan Holloway, and that's a guy that you had a little bit of experience with. Again, you didn't get a chance to see him play because of the injury, but what would your message be to a guy like that, and what do you think kind of the future can hold for him when this injury kind of pops up again?
Yeah, I was very impressed during my time in Bakersfield last year when Dylan came down, and he was part of our team. He didn't play in any games, but he was a part of our team. He got to get his feet wet at the professional level, learned how we prepared, how we practiced. He was a valued member of the team that went on to win our division in the playoffs, even though he didn't play in the games. So it was a great experience for him. I think his main goal right now is to get healthy. I think obviously he had surgery yesterday, so he's in the very early stages of his convalescence. The message I'd send to him is, to continue to make sure that he's doing what the doctors say and following the treatment protocols that our staff here lays out for him. But he's an exciting prospect for the future of this organization.
And you can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe you have a little bit of experience with Philip, with development camps and whatnot. What are your expectations of him as he gets his first season in North America up and running?
Well, I think it's a great opportunity for Philip to come in and be with his peer group again, his age group, some of the players that have been drafted alongside of him. Obviously, he had the experience of coming into the camp during the bubble last summer, and that was a fantastic experience, but that was with a lot of the players on the big club. There were a few younger prospects mixed in there, but now he has a good opportunity to lay a foundation for his season. He has an opportunity to build confidence each and every day so that he's ready when main camp starts next week.
Appreciate it, Jay.
Thanks.
Hey, Jay.
I
just want to ask you a question about a player you've coached the last couple of years, but now is going to be at the main camp, hoping to stick in the NHL, and that's Tyler Benson. Can you speak to if and what progress there was in terms of him perhaps embracing more of a all-around role, or realizing maybe in the NHL, hey, he might not be a top six like he's always been? Has there been sort of other areas of his game he's branched out in?
Sure. First thing about Tyler is when he was reassigned to Bakersfield last year, he came down with an unbelievable attitude. He recognized the opportunity that was before him, which was that he could grow his game. He had an opportunity to grow his game and play a ton of minutes. I sat down with him. We had a meeting as soon as he came down from Edmonton, and we came up with a plan to develop different areas of his game. For example, his board work. For example, introducing him to the penalty kill, which was something that he had minimal experience on, but we felt that it was providing Tyler with a line of sight or a pathway to achieve his dream, which was to make the Edmonton Oilers, make our parent club here. And Tyler put in a heck of a year. He was a point-a-game player. He played on what I felt was the most dominant line in the Pacific Division of the American Hockey League last year. He made plays. When we lost McLeod to the recall with about 10 games left, he took on even more responsibility. The team didn't miss a beat and obviously went on to have a successful playoff run within our division. And, Tyler scored the winning goal. That was the difference. So extremely proud of how far he's come. I think the opportunity before him is obvious. And, just in speaking with him over the summertime, he feels he's in top shape. He's mentally ready to go, and he's excited about that opportunity.
Hey, Jay. So last year in Bakersfield, 3 of your top 4 leading scorers were 21, 23, and 24 years old. How do you speak to that and how it sort of plays into the fact that development is a big part of the winning culture in Bakersfield?
Yeah. About 3 years ago when our staff went down there, we talked a lot about how our most important job was to develop players for our parent club, the Edmonton Oilers, and how that guides everything that we do. But we also felt that you could do so in a winning environment. We thought you could marry the two concepts of development and winning. And, as important as it is to ingrain certain habits and ingrain certain skills in our younger players, things like passing and shooting and decision making and puck management, all that kind of stuff is all very important. They're all skills. But we've said right from the beginning that winning is a skill too. And we wanted our younger players to learn the skill of winning at the American Hockey League level so that when their time came to play in the National Hockey League, they had that experience to draw on. We've been very fortunate to be the benefactors of some good hockey players and good human beings that have come through the program. And we're proud of how far some of those younger guys have come.
Jay, where does Lavoie have to work on to become a National Hockey League player?
I'm excited to see Raf's progression. He's another guy I have yet to bump into. I think in the summertime he was tasked with getting bigger and stronger. Like a lot of these younger players, they're growing into becoming men. And to be able to physically compete at the highest level, there's a level of strength and training and seriousness off the ice that needs to, you gain through experience. So it was a big summer for him that way. In terms of his on-ice play, obviously his skills speak for themselves. He's a shooter, he's big, he's strong on the puck and can be physical. I think for Raf, he had a good year last year in that he got his... He cut his teeth in the Swedish Allsvenskan League. He played a lot. He put up some decent numbers in that league. And then when he came back to the American Hockey League, he got a free taste of what North American pro hockey was like. He played about 20 games or so, and he learned the requirements of consistency, of being a consistent, relied on player, an important player at that level. And for him, I thought he took strides. Were there times that we needed a little bit more? Sure, there was. But that's all part of the process with these young men is understanding that your goal is to get better every day. Development's rarely in a straight line. But if you have the proper mindset and you trust the process, usually good things happen.
What's your brother saying about the German defenseman Munzenberger?
Yeah, I talked to my brother a few days ago, and they have their team together. They're practicing at a limited amount of time, and he was a big fan of Munzenberger. I haven't seen him play other than in the World Junior when I was watching, but I think he's a big fan of a big D-man that can skate and thinks the game well.